Biswas. Today I am going to deal with identity crisis in V.S.Naipaul's A House for Mr. Biswas. A House of Mr. Biswas is the story of Mohun Biswas, and it's the story of an Indian immigrant person's dilemma. And the basic idea of the novel presents is quest for identity, and some of the points are related with this quest for identity. For example, individualism. Michel Foucault has given the essay named The Subject and Power, and in which he has discussed the duality of individualism. So she also notes that in individualism, each and every individual has a different kind of thinking and right to be different. So in Hanuman House, all the members are different in their behavior, in their nature. Say for example, Mrs. Tulsi and Shama, both characters are very they behave very differently with Mohun Biswas, and they are not emotionally attached with one another. Then alienation and rootlessness. Alienation in page number 81 or 82, Mr. V.S.Naipaul writes that Hanuman House stood like an alien white portrait. So he considered this Hanuman House as alien portrait, and the rootlessness, the question of rootlessness takes place. Then hybridity and realization. Now, most of the things have been discussed by Mahesh about realization. So I would like to deal with hybridity. The novel is having vernacular terms, the Hindi word, and English. And he also uses multi-language interaction in there. Say for example, French, Spanish, African, and English. So all the languages are surrounded in this novel. So hybridity and two cultures, that is his own Indian culture and his Trinidadian culture. So hybridity is presented in the character of Mohun Biswas. Then struggle for survival. Some of the critics say that struggle for survival is a term of existentialism, but I should say that in this novel it is not so. That the novel doesn't prove that it shows existentialism, but it shows something that struggle for survival is a term for modern men. If we say that it is the term of existentialism, then we should prove Old Man and the Sea existential play novella, but it is not so. So modern man from that struggle for survival, and he struggles throughout his life. He shifts from job to job, then place to place, and there also continuous shift from Hindi to English, then from village to country, and from joint family to nuclear family. Then diaspora. Now to this point I will come to it later on. And sense of loss. Now when he was in Hanuman House, he feels that I lost something. But at the very same time, he thinks that he is not like other sons-in-law of Mrs. Tulsi, that she is having three sons-in-law, Mr. Biswas and other two. So both sons-in-law were dependent completely on Mrs. Tulsi, and they were there for the sake of their bearing for their food. But in the case of Mr. Biswas, it is something different from that he wants to be something. As Mahesh discussed that he wants to prove himself, he wants to be something, and for that he wants to purchase his own home. And loss of ethnicity. Now, as he is, I would like to give the example of missing living, that in India he was considered as non-Indian, and in foreign countries he was considered as Indian. So the same thing happened in this case also. He is neither completely Indian nor Trinidadian, but Indo-Trinidadian. And loss of ethnicity is almost that a collective identity he has lost somewhere. In Hanuman House, he finds no more collective identity with the other members of his house. Then characteristics of diasporic literature. Now this novel is diasporic, as considered as diasporic literature, and search for identity and quest for identity or identity crisis. So all are connected with this diasporic literature. Say for example, it is said that the reflection of cultural and historical crisis. Both the crises we feel in this novel, cultural and historical crisis. Then place and identity. So his place is almost changed now. he hasn't migrated, but his grandfather has migrated, and it is the root cause, and because of this he has to suffer. Then East-West encounters almost like discussed hybridity. Then ultimate identity such as ethnicity is almost lost. Then racism, regionality and nationality. Now what is this raciality and regionality and nationality is questioned now. And one more thing that the gender and cultural locations, displacement, fragmentation. Now he is mentally fragmented, and his physical deformity also matches with his mental deformity. And internalization and marginalization, where marginalization is very important here. Then memory homeland. Still he has this memory of his Indian house and Indian culture and tradition and customs, rituals. But at the same time, it is said that social customs, rituals and superstitions drive away individuals from his roots. So same thing happened in this case. And superstition is also defined in this novel that he was born in wrong way and with 6 fingers. So his superstition atmosphere is also there in prologue and even here first chapter. Then house and self-identity he is searching for. And from all this I have prepared one figure that at root cause migration is there, and then marginalization is the outcome of this migration, and then alienation, unhomeliness. Unhomeliness is the term given by Mohun Baba, then rootlessness. So respectively this chain of causes goes, and at last by turmoil of height he comes a house for Mr. Biswas. A house of Mr. Biswas as a novel comes into existence because of this migration, so it is the root cause. And to conclude my point, I would say I would want to give only one line that which will make this whole point clear, that house is the mark of identity in the world of alienation. So you know that Mr. Biswas wants to prove himself by purchasing his house. So it's a typical Indian aspiration to have one's own home and to die peacefully under one's roof. And at the very time that the house here is not as Mahesh talked, that it's a subject. But I would say here that it's not subject, but rather it's metaphor here. And house stands, it is not here a walk with having 4 walls. But it shows something permanent, stability, economic security, freedom. So he wants that freedom, he wants that house, and by doing his house on this earth, by a piece of land will give him identity, and by this identity, house, he will get his identity. And I have started. Thank you all.